Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Best Ever You Show. I'm Elizabeth Hamilton-Guarino here with the amazing, famous artist, Mr. Christopher Radko of HeARTfully Yours. Yay! How are you?
I'm great. I've got my jingle bells on. I'm busy shipping my new ornaments to the stores nationwide, and this is my first year back in business after 15 years. So I'm so excited to be sharing my heart and my love of the Christmas ornaments with everyone out there.
Thank you so much for being here. This is truly like a blessing and an honor to be with you because when I think of Christmas, I think of you. So it's a really special moment. Now I've got something here. I'm in control of our internet here while I'm talking to you. So I want to just make sure everybody knows your website. So if I'm looking down and looking all around, I've got a control panel in front of me too, in addition to interviewing you. But people can go to heartfullyyours.com and you have such beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ornaments. I want to just show this picture of you. Again, I'm fumbling around here in the background for pictures, but look
Yeah,
at this, everybody.
I love
Look
great.
at this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
Oh,
much fun. I spend a lot of time in the workshops and factories in Poland and Germany and Italy and the Czech Republic, and I work with the glass blowers and the painters in person.
yeah.
I spend about 5 weeks each year in Europe, and I actually develop the ornaments there, and it's so exciting because these are the craftspeople who descended from the same families that have been making them for 150 years. So to carry that tradition forth into this day and age is a pretty amazing thing.
Yeah. As I pull, I just love this. Sorry, I'm so excited to talk to you. I hope I'm being cool, but I'm pretty darn excited here to talk to you. Okay, tell us what in this picture what you're doing. Can you
Well,
see the picture?
yeah, that's just a fun little picture. Someone, wanted to have a picture of me doing some drawings, but so that's about it. But, the main thing is how long it takes the ornaments to make. Um, the ideas come from like the ethos to me. I don't even, it's hard even
Yeah.
to predict when the next idea will come to me. It's like composing a melody or a song or something. You just sit at the piano and something comes to you. But each ornament takes 7 days to make. They're not made by machines. They're not made by computers. Every single ornament is mouth blown. It takes a human breath to breathe life into every single ornament. They're blown in tubes of glass that become like bubbles. And then when they put the bubble inside a mold, and then when they open the mold, the bubble of glass takes the shape of the Santa or the angel or the snowman. And then that's just the first day. They have to cure the glass overnight. On the second day, they coat the inside of the ornament with real liquid sterling silver. That's what makes the ornaments all shiny and reflective. Then after that dries on the third day, they start doing the general areas of paint, like the whole red Santa's coat or the black boots or the robe of an angel. Then after that dries on the fourth and fifth days, they start doing all the details, like the detail around the collar or the cuffs or the buttons. I actually have an eyelash lady. All she does is paint eyelashes on all the angels, and she applies the blush on all the Santa's cheeks. So there's that amount of precision. And then finally, on the sixth and seventh day, they start to apply all the glitter. Like, for instance, if you look at this ornament right here, this one
Beautiful.
is called December 24th. See how his coat sparkles. All that, there's actually 27 kinds of glitter that I use for all the ornaments. That's what makes them so shiny and sparkling and magical. The other thing is that they're not just painted on one side, they're painted all the way around. So no matter how you hang the ornament on the tree, it will look beautiful because they're painted all the way around. So that's what makes them so unique. They're original. They're all made by hand. They're made in Europe, not China, and they're made with a lot of heart and a lot of love.
Yeah, I can see it on your website. I won't pull up your website right now, but you're right after my own heart because everything I do has a gold heart. And I looked at your website and there's hearts everywhere. I'm like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite? Like, were you just holding up like two of your favorite ornaments? Because those are certainly two of my favorites. I love gingerbread houses. I think they're the coolest things.
A lot of favorites. Let's see, my
Oh,
is
Santa.
right
Yeah,
to
he's a
see.
little whited out. Yep, there you go. Now you can see him.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's beautiful.
such a wonderful face and a swirly beard. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
just really, really great. This year I have about 250 designs in my collection. It's my return to the world of holiday ornaments. after having a non-compete. I sold the old company, had a non-compete that ended. So I have a brand new company, as I said, HeARTfully Yours. And the ideas come from my love of Christmas. This is really act three of my life, if you will, and I wanted to make the best act ever. And so for me, it's so important to stay conscious that the reason I'm designing these ornaments is to bring joy to families all over the country. Homes I might personally never be able to get to, but a little bit of my heart is in every one of these ornaments that ends up on their Christmas trees. So I don't have a absolute favorite. I love them all. They're kind of like all my kids.
Yeah.
So they're all my favorites. They're hanging on my Christmas tree right now, and actually, I'm already off and running and creating the next year's collection because I'm a wholesaler. So I have to develop next year's collection a year in advance. So they're like magic for me, and as long as they bring joy to families on their Christmas trees and become memory makers, then they're my favorites, all of them.
So I'm Christmas crazed personally. If I could leave Christmas up all year round
Oh, nice.
and not get crap for it, I would. I just love. Every once in a while you get a Santagram like it's time to take your lights down, but
Yeah.
I would leave my tree up all the time if I could. I have a real one and a fake one. They've got your ornaments. They've got everything on them. Are you like that? I mean, what happens like when Valentine's Day runs comes up? Are you like, oh, here we
Um,
go?
Even though I don't have my Christmas tree up year round, I feel like the spirit of Christmas is in my heart all year long. So for me, in a sense, I'm enjoying Christmas all year long. For me, the spirit of Christmas is about connection and consideration and remembering we're all together on this, tiny spaceship called Earth. We're all really one extended family. And so to me that, keeping an open heart towards other, an extended hand to people who need help, to me that is the spirit of Christmas. And you don't even have to celebrate Christmas to live that way, of course. But to me, just living the spirit of Christmas is so important. Now, as an artist, of course, I get to, create designs and be involved with Christmas ornaments all year long. But even starting next year, I'll be doing some ornaments for other holidays like Halloween and Easter and St. Patrick's. I'll be doing bridal and wedding ornaments and baby's birth ornaments. I'll be doing, Thanksgiving, even Hanukkah ornaments. So, many, many years ago, I did a signing event at a big department store in New York City. And this young man came up to me. It was a really long line, maybe 3 hours. And, finally, it was this young man's turn. He had his little basket of ornaments that he asked me to sign for his boss. And he said, my boss wants to know, why aren't you doing Hanukkah ornaments? I kind of looked at him. I said, I don't know. I've never thought about it. Would I ever get into trouble? You sure it would be okay? And he said, oh, sure. No, you should do Hanukkah ornaments. And I remembered that some of my friends are in mixed religious marriages. So one person might be Jewish, the other one Christian or another faith. And so I was like, yeah, why not? Something for everyone on the Christmas tree. And so I asked him, well, who's your boss? And he said, it's Barbara Streisand.
Of course, right.
Wanted me to create ornaments for Hanukkah, and so I did, and she loved them, and everyone loved them. So next year I'll be doing some Hanukkah ornaments as well, and other holidays as well. So there'll pretty soon be a HeARTfully Yours ornament to enjoy every holiday
Yeah.
and every celebration with. So you can have my ornaments out all year long for the different holidays.
That's perfect. So go back and talk about just you as an artist. Like, have you always known you could draw, paint, all of the things that you do? Have you known you were an artist since you were pretty much,
That's a
crawling?
that's a really good question. No, I had no idea. I mean, I did not have formal training. My mom loved art and she loved to
Mhm.
paint. She was like a weekend oil painter. She was a doctor, by the way, so she did that as sort of the fallback steady income, source for her work. But her passion was art, and so she encouraged me to, play with my crayons or my magic markers, what have you. But I never took formal art training. Now in school, art class really was my favorite class because I found that, I learned about different colors. I'll never forget in third grade, the art teacher taking out some bottles of poster paint. And there were colors I wasn't familiar with because they weren't in my basic Crayola box, set.
Yeah.
And Like she had chartreuse and she had fuchsia and she had magenta. And these are like, wow, I've never seen these colors or heard of them before. So like it was trippy. My mind was expanding. And I was lucky that in grammar school and high school, I also had art teachers that encouraged all us kids to think big and expand our imagination. So if you wanted to do a purple horse, that was okay. If you wanted to do a house with 5 chimneys, that was okay. It was all good. You were expressing what came out of you naturally. And we might learn some techniques in art class, but otherwise it was a chance to just really express ourselves, whether it was ceramics or mechanical drawing or or painting or drawing or whatever in art class. I always loved that, and that was my kind of happy place. I didn't care so much for calculus or chemistry.
Does anyone except my son? Our youngest son loves it. I'm like, you
Oh,
go. Didn't get that from me.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. Did you know, like when you were in there, that like would people look and go, "Oh, he's an artist." You know how there's always somebody who can really actually draw. Like
Sure.
most most of the people are struggling, and then there's somebody there like, "Oh,
Yeah,
the pear looks like a pear."
if I'm drawing, I use a big eraser. But fortunately now it's a lot easier because I go, as I mentioned, to the workshops and kind of do the development in person, working with the glassblower, working with the carver face to face. So it goes more smoothly that way. Um, and but like again, it comes back to where people say, well, how do you get the ideas? And a lot of them are inspired by antique ornaments I grew up with, ornaments that just kind of pop into my head, like where'd this one come from? But I kind of take charge and bring it to center stage and bring it to life. So again, it's like composing music. It's like where do those, they come from? The ethers, from the cosmos, from the universe, from God, if you will. But I sometimes I feel like I'm the band leader or the choreographer on stage or the stage manager, and all these ideas want to come on stage and get seen and go out into the world, all these ornaments, and I facilitate that. So I feel honored to do it. I don't want to say like it's me, because really, the act of creation is something we all share. We're all creative, you, me, everyone, in the way we get out. When we start the day, we get out of bed and we decide what to put on and what to make for breakfast and how we relate to our family members and our loved ones. Those are all little acts of creation every step of the way. The way we meet people in the street or talk to someone in the grocery store or have a little conversation with the checkout person. Those are all acts of creation, acts of love, if you will. And so, in a sense, when I create things, I'm sharing my heart, my love with others. Long after I'm gone, whatever, I want to live forever, but that's obviously
Do
not.
I? But
But my ornaments, that aspect of my heart, the love that I want to share, will live on for future generations. I can imagine 100 years from now, well, the future generations will be living on Mars or wherever, on other planets. And then, someone, come Christmas time, they'll take out a box with ornaments, and decorate a Christmas tree on Mars. And I don't know what that'll look like, but they'll say, wow, my great great grandmother bought this in a store in Maine back on Earth 100 years ago, and we still have this ornament. And that's the kind of connections that I'm talking about. That's why the ornaments are like memory makers, because each ornament contains the memory of who had it, where you received it, who gave it to you. And so your family legacy ends up being on your Christmas tree. Your Christmas tree becomes like a family diary, as you can point to each ornament and say, this I got from my grandmother, this when we got married, this when you were born. So it's just amazing, all that heart connection on a Christmas tree.
yeah. Do you ever get like overwhelmed by that? Like how do you relax? Because there's some responsibility there in a way. How do you chill out from everything? Like what
That's
what else do you do? How do you I and looking at you, I can tell you're in really good shape and all these things. So what else do you do to help be your best all the time?
that's a really great question. Starting a new business essentially from
Yeah.
scratch, as I did this January, yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride. I mean, everything that could, be a problem probably did become a problem. Importing right now, post-pandemic, labor shortage, material shortage, transport issues, everything that could be an issue was an issue. It was very, very challenging for me. So staying balanced, staying grounded is so important for me. I keep a journal. I meditate. I go on hikes. I love lavender. I used to be a lavender farmer, so I have lavender as an essential oil that I can do inhalations with to kind of keep me calm and grounded and centered. I also remind myself that I'm not trying to cure cancer here or anything like that. My purpose always is to bring joy and light and love through the ornaments to families that I might never meet. So I keep reminding myself that's my purpose, that's my goal. And I know I'm doing that. Even if there's a problem with the UPS truck coming late or FedEx losing a box, it's like, okay, that's what happened. But the main thing is that I am executing on my mission to bring joy to others and use the ornaments as a vehicle. So as long as I keep reminding myself of the purpose of what I'm doing and that I've accomplished so much so far, then it helps me calm down, get centered again. Again, I'm a big believer in meditation. I know it's helped me enormously to feel connected, spiritually that way. It's very, very significant in my life. Going outside in nature, going on a nice hike on a hill or a mountain or through the woods, whatever's available. I have a great dog, so she keeps me grounded too, and real. So, between being outside with nature and kind of communing with nature, I have a lot of St. Francis in me. So I love trees, I love rocks, I love moss, I love country roads and dirt roads. I love, views, vistas. I love the feel of the breeze on my face. I love the ocean. I love the vastness of the water, the salt water. I think it's very healing and balancing for me. So between being outdoors, grounding in nature, helps to calm me or soothe me. Essential oils, like geranium and lavender and lemon and grapefruit, all kind of help me a lot. Meditation, it's just everyone has their own meditation or can create their own meditation practice. But I really feel supported spiritually, with guides and the angels and however it is people understand that. But I don't feel ever alone. I know that I'm surrounded by celestial support, if you will. My ancestors, the people that I've known and loved who are no longer living, but I feel their love and support around me. And that sustains me very much so.
But we are like lined up. It's hard not to interrupt you because I'm like, yep, yep, yep. It's interesting. One of the things you said there, this has nothing to do with ornaments at all, but moss, I'm going to study it. I think that moss is the coolest thing ever. I have no idea what my fascination is with moss and moss, trees, rocks all day long. Moss, trees, rocks. I mean, it's a very strange thing about me, but I don't know how many different kinds of moss there are, but I have a lot of it.
I love
I,
the moss. Yeah,
yeah.
it has even in the dead of winter, it has this incredible bright green color,
Yep.
and it's magical. I mean, I'm not I don't know the biology of moss, but
Neither.
I know there's something very unique about it because it can grow even up north in the tundras where trees can't grow,
Yeah.
and it clings to a rock and it covers it and makes this beautiful. It's like little fairy kingdom, if you will.
That's what I love is like I have a fair under my tree out here. I have like a little fairy garden right there with all these things in it, and it's got moss and rocks and all these things. So it's pretty cute. But anyway, yeah,
Natural.
that's cool. Okay, I have a question for you about can you remember like your very first ornament where you were like, oh, I've got something here. This is what I'm gonna do with my life.
Well, it started because of a holiday accident. I was a very, very young man, and it was my job to set up the Christmas tree in the tree stand, in the metal tree stand. But I didn't want to clean out the old one because it was full of rust and dirt and sap from the previous year. So I went out to a local nursery shop and bought a brand new shiny red and green aluminum tree stand. After we had decorated this 12-foot tree, the following morning, I was just kind of vacuuming up some of the fallen needles, and I heard this screeching sound and this and then this pop, and the whole tree fell crashing to the ground. And it was a really loud sound. Everyone's heard it in the house, and my grandmother comes out of the kitchen. And she says, "What happened? What's that noise?" And she sees the tree on the ground, and she sees all these broken ornaments, and she kind of like grasps her heart, and she wouldn't even look at me. She just kind of shook her head and she said, "What have you done? You've ruined Christmas forever now."
Oh, no.
So that guilt is like, and I know people say, "Oh, how could she say something so mean?" But it just kind of came out because for my grandmother, there was a story behind every single ornament. She was born in 1900, so she had ornaments on the tree from 1905, or when my mother was born in 1927. So she had all these trees that were memory makers for her, that she could recapture bits of her childhood and when she was a young woman. And so here she was in her 80s, and all those memories, in a sense, shattered right before her. And so I felt really bad for her. I had favorite ornaments too that were shattered. So the problem was, back in the 80s, you couldn't find beautiful glass ornaments. No one was making them anymore. Everything was plastic or styrofoam or machine made in Hong Kong. And so what I did is, the following spring, I went to Europe and I visited some cousins. And one cousin said she had heard how I'd ruined Christmas forever. And I said, "Oh boy, will I ever live
Oh,
this?"
God. That's gonna
She said,
stick.
"Well, I have a friend who works at a pharmacist. He's a glass blower. He makes laboratory equipment, but for, in November, he supplements his income by making Christmas decorations. So if you want, in November, I'll ask him to make you some ornaments. I'll send them to you. So all's well that ends well." And I said, "Look, I know it's only April, but can we go and work with him right now?" And so I met the guy, very nice young man, and he said, "Can you please sketch or draw what it is you want me to have? Because I don't know what people in America put on their tree." So I did some sketches and drawings of beautiful balls with painted designs and reflectors and icicles and comets and star shapes. And he kind of looked at these and he said, "My grandfather used to make ornaments like these back in the 1930s. I said, "Yeah, that's what we had on our tree." So he made them for me. I brought them home with me to New York. I happened to show them to some friends, and immediately they said, "Where'd you get these glass ornaments? Who's making glass ornaments? Will you sell them to us?" At the time, I was only earning 12,000 a year. I was working in a talent agency in New York City in the mailroom, so I wasn't, I was barely getting by. So I sold them, and then I realized, oh man, what did I do? I sold my samples, So I sent a cable back to Europe, and I asked if they could send me a few more.
Would you just say, "Oh, a cable"? Like, there's no phone, is there? Like a cable. What's a cable?
Piece, it wasn't easy to dial Europe, and
Nope. I
so
get it. Yeah.
a cable or a telex. So I sent a cable and I asked for more ornaments, and but do them in different sizes and different colors. So I created essentially my first collection, which I started selling in 1986. So my first collection had about 65 designs. Most of them were ball shapes or balls with reflectors and beautiful painted designs, whether it's Santa or snowmen or different painted, like countryside designs, little houses in the woods. I had icicles and snowflakes and pendant ornaments, just kind of the some of the shapes that I remembered as a child. And I did really well. I mean, for my lunch hour, the first year I sold about $25,000 worth, and then the second year I sold about $100,000 worth. It's like, wow, I could say goodbye to the talent agency,
Yeah.
and this is my calling, to make Christmas ornaments because they sold so well. People, there was a need for it.
Yeah.
People couldn't find glass ornaments. When they saw mine, they said, "These are just like the ones my grandmother had." I kept hearing that over, and it's like, "Thank you for bringing back." It was all but forgotten because everyone, all the buyers, the department stores, they were all rushing to Taiwan, I guess, or Hong Kong to have things made, but the quality isn't the same. And
Yeah.
I care about working with the craftspeople that have the traditions, and their family traditions go back over a century. I think that's part of the secret of these ornaments.
Now, did your grandma ever get I don't know if I'm supposed to ask this or not, but did grandma ever get to see the ornaments? Did you give her a box?
Well,
Or
I used to bring
like,
home,
"I forgive you."
yeah, no, she did. She totally, because I was
Thank
filling
you.
up the basement. I would bring home a box of every design I designed. Pretty soon the basement was packed with hundreds of boxes of ornaments, just, because I kept a box of everything I ever made back then. And yeah, she definitely saw the success. She definitely forgave me. Um, and it all worked out
Yeah.
well. I've been also blessed because celebrities started buying my ornaments. I'll never forget the day I got a phone call and from a florist that I sold to on the Upper West Side, and he said, you'll never guess who was in here. Bruce Springsteen. He bought the whole tree for his wife. You know,
Oh,
or another day I got a call, and again another store owner. You never guess who was in here. Katharine Hepburn. She bought a whole
oh, my
bunch of
favorite.
ornaments. And then I started selling internationally. So I sold to all the better department stores in London.
Yep.
Like Harrods and some of the other ones. Well, I got a note from Princess Diana thanking me for these beautiful
Oh, that
ornaments
just gave me
and
chills.
how she herself had never seen such beautiful ornaments and how she couldn't wait to share them with her boys. So that
Oh,
when things like that have happened, all Gregory Peck was a lovely man and he
favorite.
loved my ornaments too. But even today we have all the younger generation collecting them. So
Yeah.
it kind of goes forward. People love the ornaments and anyone that loves Christmas, I have a hunch they're going to enjoy the Heartfully Yours ornaments too.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull that website back up again here. Just so people have it. Well, what else was I gonna I have so many things I want to ask you, but I'm gonna just make sure we respect the time here because we've got about 30 minutes to go.
Great.
Just pull the website back up so people can go there. Is there any
Thank
place else you want to direct people? Like, do you hang out on social media at all, or not really? Or
Instagram, Heartfully Yours Instagram page. It's Heartfully Yours _Christmas. And then there's my personal page. People are welcome to go to my personal page, Christopher Radko on Facebook. But what's so cool about the website that the heartfullyyours.com website is there are videos showing how all the ornaments are made, the 7-day process. You can actually watch the glass blower or the carver or the lady that silvers the ornaments. You can see that because it's like when you hear it, it's like, I'm not quite sure what he means. So just watch the videos. Each video is like 30 seconds long, so you can watch them little sound bites. And you can see the whole process. You can see my whole catalog. You can see all the ornaments online at heartfullyyours.com. And of course, there's a buy now section. So I don't personally sell the ornaments, but I list many stores, fine stores across the country
yeah.
that
I'm gonna
sell and do mail order as well.
I'm gonna bring up one more. Is Do you like cats? Every time I think of Christmas, I think of cats knocking over Christmas trees.
That's funny.
Are you just like, oh my gosh, cats?
No, it's okay. I love cats. I even have a cat ornament this year.
Oh, you do? Oh,
My
my
collection,
favorite.
yes. Cats are great. I mean, when I was a teenager, we had a wonderful cat named Sylvester. He was wonderful, but he had a very long tail, right? So sometimes the tail would bump against the ornaments on the lower branches. But I went to the pet store, and there's a little spray you can spray on the branches just to keep the pets away. It's like an apple spray or something like that. I don't know what it is. It's not toxic, but it keeps the pets away from the tree.
Oh,
Yeah.
good idea. Yeah, I'm thinking of like all the beautiful ornaments and a cat and TikTok and just like videos. I'm gonna show this one ornament because I loved your reaction when I showed this to you earlier.
Oh yeah, he's really great. That's Santa
Oh,
underneath, and that's called Long Winter's Nap because this is like the day after Christmas. He's exhausted and he's just kind of laying back for a snooze inside that wreath. That's one of my best sellers this year. It's painted on both sides. There are actually golden bells on the other side, but that's called Long Winter's Nap, and it's
long
part.
winter's nap. Okay, I'll put that with the show. And then you were showing us this one. Is that right? Is that the one you were holding up?
That's called Kingsmere Santa. He's gorgeous. He's got
Oh,
this beautiful hat. I love his expression. If you look up close, you can see his tiny eyelashes and the blush, by the eyelash lady, and the swirls in his beard. It has an Art Nouveau feeling. Very, very old world. He's a very handsome piece. Kingsmere Santa is his
King's
name.
Hair Santa. Yeah, you do beautiful Santa. Sometimes there's like people do Santas wrong, and it's like, and your Santas are all right.
Friendly and loving.
And pretty and yeah, and sweet. Okay, cool. I'm gonna bring your, I think, hang on, bring your website up one more time, just so we close on that. Sorry, I'm at the controls here. Oh no, hang on. You can tell I'm at the controls. I gotta hide that. There we go. All right. So, is there anything else you want to? I think we have got to go because of time and everything. But I have so thoroughly, what an honor to meet you and speak
Well,
with you.
I can't emphasize how important it is for me, and I encourage this for other people to follow our hearts. I
Mm,
think that's so important. Life is so full of ups and downs. Sometimes it feels like it has more downs than ups, and I understand that, because I've gone through a lot in my life as
yeah.
well. Sometimes things aren't easy and straightforward. It might look it on the surface, but like if you look behind the scenes, you see there are a lot of challenges. But I think my rudder, my compass, my North Star, if you will, is my heart and following what I know I'm here to do, which is to bring joy. I'm service minded. My way of being of service on earth is to bring joy through the ornaments I make, and people enjoy them. Thousands, tens of thousands of families all over the world, millions probably by now, and so I feel satisfied that I'm, fulfilling my mission. But it doesn't have to. You don't have to start an ornament business. It's all about how does your heart sing? What makes your heart sing, and finding a way to make that work, because that's probably your calling. And especially if you find that it brings joy to other people or helps them or supports a really good cause. My mom was a pediatrician, so a lot of charities I support are for children's causes. So I'm just so thrilled that even though this is a very hard time in my life, starting a new business from scratch, and I'm 62 right now, so it's a lot of work. I'm not 22 anymore, but
Neither am I.
I'm driven by the internal knowing that I'm being of service and that there is a higher purpose to what I do. And that means so much to me. I would not want to trade my life for anything else. I love what I'm doing. And I encourage everyone to find what they love and do that. Even if it's a crazy idea, maybe you can't do it full time, but do it. Let your heart sing through your act of creation, through your act of sharing love in the world. Bring your heart out into the world. In any way. It might be through gardening, through cooking, through helping someone with their homework, through volunteering in a retirement home. There's so many ways to make a positive difference. And to me, that comes from our heart. That's the living spirit of Christmas. That's how we express Christmas every day of the year. So that's kind of my perspective.
Yeah, we're all about heart, truths, energy all day long. Do you have any kind of before we go? Do you have any kind of um, s- advice on success? Because I don't think success is the dollars in your pocket. I think my definition of success is like your heart, like what you're saying, your heart singing and the smile on your face or the smile on somebody else's face. I
Yeah.
think people have a very skewed sense of success.
Hmm. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, especially in the Western world, the dollar signs are the heavy emphasis,
Yeah.
if you will, or maybe how many cars you have, things like that. Um, I love material things. I have nothing against material things, but for me, success is something that goes beyond the tangible feelings of today, and your soul, your spirit knows if you're being successful because you've connected with people, you've brought joy to people. To me, that's success, where people feel your heart in the world. I think we're here, to connect with people. So to me, that's the biggest success. It's like in the movie "It's a Wonderful Life,"
Mhm.
right? And George Bailey. And it always, works me up just to think about it. But I think his brother says something like, you're a success when you have friends, basically.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. It's about your friends. It's about your loved ones. And it's about the people that you can touch through something that you do. You might not even get to meet them, but you're touching their hearts. It's like a teacher is a success. A teacher might not be in touch with all the students they've ever taught, but as a matter of faith, they know that they have made a difference in the world, and so they've kind of completed their mission, on earth. So to me, that's success. The money is not a fair measurement. It's not, but the money can be used for good deeds too. I mean, if you're a very wealthy person, you can help a charity, you can help fund research for a cure for cancer or something. So if you have money, you can use the money to make a difference too. You can buy food for food pantries, for instance. You can help provide water in third world countries, help people to dig wells so they can have fresh water. So I mean, there's so many ways to use money in a positive way too.
Yeah.
So So there's nothing wrong with material goods. If you share them, if you share your heart and, help others, I think I think to me that's success. At the end of the game, the race, when St. Peter's like, okay, what were you doing on earth? It's like, well, this is what I was up to. It's like, oh, you did good. So come on in.
Love
So
it.
yeah, success is so much more. I think success is your ability to hear your heart and bring your heart out into the world.
Beautiful. All right. I have so thoroughly enjoyed meeting you. I hope we get to keep in touch in this great big world, because it's fun to know you, and fun to I love your wisdom, your perspective. I love the things that you love, and who doesn't love Christmas and you. So and also I just want to give he said something really critical in this. I don't know if critical is the right word, but I'm a writer. I'm going to throw that word around there, but mission critical to life,
Yeah.
and that's to pay attention to what you love to do. Because we share a love of third grade. My third grade teacher was pivotal to me becoming the writer all along that I am. And go back and think, like, if you're stuck right now, which I'm 53, we all get stuck and have these moments of like, what am I going to do with my life, or whatever it is, or new chapter, reinvent, all this stuff. And go back and think about what you love to do with your heart, and your real authentic you, because we don't need fake you and all this stuff. We need real you. And that's just some of the things I talk about too on Best Ever You, and you touched on it, so I just wanted to expand on it. Go back to third grade, go back to kindergarten, go back to preschool, go back to high school. Find a moment in your life where you had, a moment of joy, and do more of that for sure, because it was colors for you. I love it.
It was those colors and sparkle and the magic of a Christmas tree. I used to do my homework by the light of a Christmas tree. To me, that was my happy place at home.
Yeah.
Like as a sanctuary. And so I bring that magic to people, from coast to coast today.
Yeah.
How lucky I am to be able to do that. How
Yeah.
grateful I am.
All right, books and crayons.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
anyway, all right. Well, thank you very much for being here, Christopher Radko, and everybody listening to. I think this will air either tonight or tomorrow night. We're in record mode this morning, so we're bright and early this morning here on Saturday morning, but we're going to record later on. So anyway, thank you very much for being here. I'm going to put your website up, and we are going to say goodbye to everybody and thank you, and go to heartfullyyours.com and take a look at your beautiful website, watch all those videos, and Christopher Radko, thank you so much for being here.
It's a
Appreciate you
pleasure.
so much. All right,
Merry
take care,
Christmas
everybody.
to all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Say that louder again.
Merry Christmas to one and all.
Thank you, everybody. All right.
Enjoy.